I'm gonna be honest with you, growing up as a kid in the late 80s and early 90s, whenever I see scenes of people dressed up as apes, I was kind of like, no thanks. I'll just stick to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Back to the Future, RoboCop, Terminator, and all those things. But in the recent years, after watching these two movies, I'm kind of like, okay, it's time. It's time. Planet of the Apes, 1968. So Planet of the Apes takes place in 1972, starting off in outer space, carrying 4 astronauts. One of them is the main character named Taylor. They all go into this hyper sleep, trying to travel through time and space, trying to figure out what's out there in the universe. They crash land on this planet, realizing the year is now 3978. Their ship sinks down on the water. They lost 1 astronaut. So Taylor, along with these 2 other astronauts, are stranded on this planet. They have no idea where they are, they just know the year and that they're there to stay. So now we have our movie. This movie started off kind of mysterious. Like when they land on it's kind of like a desert area, there's like nothing around. And just like, what is this place, I will admit, I'd never watched this movie growing up as a kid. This is my first time watching it. So the first 25 minutes you don't see anything other than these 3 astronauts trying to discover what's going on here, They're looking for life and then they finally find water. They run into the humans of that planet and realize that they're all mute. They're not as advanced, they're not even smart, they're kind of like cavemen. When out of nowhere, all these gorillas come in and start capturing them all with nets. They come in with guns and they start killing everybody. I'm just like, what the heck's going on? They capture all these humans for slaves and they take them in. One of the astronauts gets hurt, another gets killed. Taylor also gets injured and gets captured. Gets shot right in the neck, making him unable to speak. So for the rest of this movie, it's basically Taylor being captured, escaping, being captured and escaping, trying to prove his innocence, that he's not part of the regular humans, that he's actually a space traveler from the past. But all the apes just don't believe him. I was a little surprised at how low tech the apes were in this movie. I figured they would be flying cars, doing all these holograms like Iron Man, But no, they're basically in their own Flintstones era. But yet they have guns, water hoses, and keys to locks that they've created. One of them did have a camera though, that was kind of weird. This is so far off in the future that apes have evolved into these human-like characters where they wear clothes, they stand upright just fine, capture humans, they have their own jobs, make museums, they even ride horses as well. And the rest of this movie is basically how the apes do not believe and man used to be more intelligent and how there was nothing before their scrolls. The scrolls is basically like their Bible in this movie for the apes. There was nothing else before this Bible for them. That is it. Let's talk about the characters. There's Zira, if I'm pronouncing it right. I think she had the best makeup out of all the other actors. They just look a lot more natural than everybody else. It just looked really good, when she would speak it would be like, "Hello bright eyes, how are you doing today?" And I'm just like, whoa, that looks really good. She was really nice, she was sweet. She just had like an open mind, She wasn't closed-minded like some of these other apes where it's like, no, nothing past this wall. There's nothing else out there. There's nothing. She was more like, oh, there's evidence here, there's evidence there. Let's put these things together. Let's figure it out, right? And then there's Cornelius. He's probably my favorite. Why? I'm not really sure why. I guess because he looked pretty good too in costume. At first he was kind of like, no, you're wrong. This can't be. There's no way this guy came from space and all that stuff. But then slowly but surely he started to believe. He would see the evidence. He would see like the paper that Taylor did. He did the paper airplane. He was kind of like, whoa. He was pretty amazed. So in time he became a pretty good character where he's on Zira's side. Plus they're banging. Did I mention they're banging? There's Nova. She's kind of like the cave woman of this movie. She didn't speak a word, which was okay with me, because I think that probably would have ruined the movie if she spoke, because I'm not really sure how good of an actress she was back then. But she did good. She was attractive, she was cute, and she didn't do anything to piss me off. She was just a soft-spoken sidekick. Why not? And then there's these 3 assholes. Oh my gosh, they were so close-minded, it was so annoying. Dr. Zaius and the other 2. They're just like, no, man is not smarter than this. Human see, human do. No, your evidence is wrong because we say so, and blah blah blah. We're close-minded and we're assholes, so that's that. I hated them. I hated all 3. But we do need some antagonists, so I get it. I will say one thing though. A lot of the ape makeup and all the hair that they had on them was so slick. It really reminded me of Teen Wolf, the Michael J. Fox movie. They had some similarities. Plus, I love that movie. This film kind of reminded me of The Time Machine, the 1960s version. When the main character finally wakes up and he stops time traveling and realizes that everything's been changed. Humans are also being hunted, being taken into these caves. I don't know, it was kind of close. No spoilers in this review, but I will say this. By the end of the movie, you figure out why Dr. Zaius and the other apes are kind of like, oh man, this, no man, this, no man, that. By the end of the film, they kind of show you why they're like that, and then you're kind of like, oh, I understand. I understand now. It was my first time watching it. I enjoyed it. On my own personal scale of 1 through 10, 5 being average, I'm going to give it a 6. Planet of the Apes gets a 6. That's above average, but not a 7. For me, a 7 would be more like I would enjoy watching this movie over and over again. But this movie, nah. My only 2 gripes was the score. I'm not a fan of the score back then. Also, the action scenes could have used some better camera angles, but it was the 60s, so I can't really blame them on that. I'm rating this movie as if it was timeless. Because, you know, there's those movies that, you know, they just didn't age well. This one's pretty good, but I didn't watch it over and over, so I can't say it's one of the best movies of all time on instinct. So with that, Planet of the Apes, the 1968 movie, gets a 6 on my scale. What about you guys? What do you guys think? Have you guys seen this movie? Has it been a while? Did you guys grow up with it, or are you just watching it for the first time and you want to see what I think? Let me know. I'd like to know your thoughts. Let's talk about this film. Alright you guys, that's it for this review, and I hope to see you in the next video. Alright, thanks for watching. They crash land on this planet realizing the year is now 39. Fucking damn it. Damn it.